The royal family at the farm should be nowhere near any mental health charity. My family, Omid Scobie said something, an article that he wrote just yesterday. And I quote, the palace did brief against Harry and Meghan. What's the point in denying something that's so obvious? Everybody knows it. Every carnival or so-called expert, they know what they did to cover up for Prince William. They saw Prince Harry and Meghan in love, happy, and they couldn't stand it. They couldn't stand seeing a member of the royal family, Meghan, a mixed-race black woman, happy with a prince whom even the carnival or so-called expert Karens desired themselves. They could not stand it, and they went after Meghan, telling her, Meghan, you can expect no fairy tale. And now, after Prince Harry has revealed that indeed what has happened to him has been done to protect Prince William, now they're like, oh, it's a lie. Why is Harry trashing his own family? But no one asks these questions of why did William, so-called family to Harry, so-called Harry's brother, authorize his employee Jason Knopf to issue a statement against Meghan in court? No one asks those questions. Why is the palace briefing against Harry and Meghan, whom they call much-loved members of the royal family? No one asks those questions. Nobody. If truly Harry and Meghan are much-loved members of the royal family, why is the palace briefing against both Harry and Meghan? My family, I want to see a video, because what has been happening to Harry for many years with the briefings. Harry was never and has never been protected by the palace in a deal the palace makes with the UK press to back off the heir to the throne. However, no such deal is ever made for the spare Prince Harry. And they thought that Harry would just look and watch and stand there as his wife is abused every single day and do absolutely nothing about it. I don't even think that William ever thought that Harry would say what's happening, what they're doing to him. The betrayal from Prince William betraying his own brother, Harry. My family, I want you to see and hear this clip kindly. Please hear this.
Well, I knew him as a young boy. He was a bit of a rascal then, but a likeable rascal.
School was a success for William, but not for Harry. He didn't really fit in very well at Eton. I'm not sure he was very happy there. You know, I think he was in a pretty bad place at the time.
Harry had already got himself a bit of a reputation for misbehaving, and it was that narrative that stuck. In no time at all, the party prince was born. Over 18, out on the town, and unprotected by any deal with the press.
Unprotected by any deal with the press. I firmly believe in my heart that William must think that Harry was bred and born just to be his scapegoat. I firmly believe in William's twisted mind. That is what he firmly believes. And he sees any deviations, any fight put up by Harry as betrayal. I firmly believe that 100%. I also believe that if William ever went through a fraction of what Harry goes through, he would never be able to handle what is happening to Harry and Meghan right now. I firmly believe that as well. My family, continue hearing this, please.
Yes, he would get absolutely slaughtered in a nightclub, rock out into the street at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Paparazzi would be there, cameras in his face. But you know, what would happen is the newspapers would have those shots from that one episode, and they would use them in that week's papers, but then they'd hang on to them and they'd chuck them into the paper a couple of weeks later. 3 weeks after that.
So his behaviour is being exaggerated, by the way, the press.
Precisely. They'd already written the narrative about Harry. He was the wild child. He was off the rails, the complete antithesis of his goody two-shoes brother.
At the end of the day,
My family, a narrative was written for Prince Harry, that he was called the party prince. When the late Diana passed away, when the world saw Prince Harry walking behind his late mother's coffin, the tabloids called Prince Harry the new Diana. That is how they labeled Harry. Do you see how sick and twisted the UK press are? How sick and twisted they are. They chased Harry's mother to her death. And now they called Prince Harry the new Diana. When Harry got married and found, happiness in Meghan, they just couldn't stand seeing him happy. They couldn't stand seeing him in love. William was so jealous. He was being told, don't worry, William. Your brother's, popularity will fade while yours, will keep growing. That is what they told William because of William's jealousy towards his own brother, Prince Harry. He was so jealous that clearly all he ever thinks about is to destroy Prince Harry and Meghan. And now, Prince Harry clearly is fed up. Harry is clearly fed up, my family. He is fed up. And some have said that, the media, has been saying that fear Meghan, fear Meghan, fear Meghan. Meghan this, Meghan that. Meghan is a threat. And that's not true. That is not true. Prince Harry is the one that they should fear. Why? Because he, as a father, as a husband, is fed up with all the lies the palace keep spreading to protect Prince William's behavior. Disgusting behavior of Prince William, of allegedly cheating on his wife. My family, Harry is fed up with the constant briefings happening against him and his wife. Lies are being spread about both Harry and Meghan to protect William. I mean, why is it so relentless? Why does it never ever stop? Why? Why doesn't it stop? I mean, Harry left the UK. He left. Meghan left the UK. They never stopped leaking stories against them. Never. Even right now, years later, after they've left, Kensington Palace is still leaking against Prince Harry. But William thinks that is Harry's role. Harry should just take it. But William can never handle a fraction of what Harry and Meghan have endured. I mean, look at what happened after the tour to the Commonwealth and the Caribbean. Look at what happened. How William was complaining and explaining, oh, look, we're going to abolish this policy of never complain, never explain after that failed Caribbean tour. Where even the Prime Minister of Jamaica told William to his face that we will be seeking independence from you to remove the monarch as the head of state. A failed flop tour. William couldn't handle that. But yet he expects Harry and Meghan to take abuse every single day, take smears every single day for years. My family, continue hearing what Robert Jobson said as well, please.
Teenager, had lost his mum at a very early age, was rebelling. He wasn't the only one. Prince William was getting drunk quite a lot himself. Nobody seemed to report about that. So there was an image of the good prince and the bad prince, and Harry got labelled the bad prince.
If the problem was Harry, as one senior courtier said to me, the solution was the army. But that wouldn't happen until he was 20, which meant the Royal Press Office faced nearly 2 years of Prince Harry as fair game for a hungry press pack.
Prince Harry was fair game fair game for a hungry press pack. You've heard William was also drinking heavily, but the press never focused on William. No, they did not. Based on the deal they had with the palace, they focused on Harry. Harry was fair game for a hungry press pack. For a hungry press pack. My family, the media is angry about being called wolves, by Meghan in the trailer. When Meghan said that she was being fed to the wolves, meaning the UK media, the media is angry about being labeled and called wolves. Yet you've heard what they're called, a press pack, a pack, hungry for stories, hungry to be fed stories by the palace. If they don't get what they want, they turn on the palace. Secrets in the royal family are revealed by the press. And the palace does not want that one bit, my family. They don't want that one bit. My family, hear what Meghan said on being thrown to the wolves. Actually, not being thrown to the wolves, being fed to the wolves. That is what Meghan said. She was being fed to the wolves. Hear this kindly.
I wonder what would have happened to us had we not gone out when we did.
Our security was being pulled. Everyone in the world knew where we were.
I said, we need to get out of here. We are on a freedom flight to see this institutional gaslighting.
I wasn't being thrown to the wolves. I was being fed to the wolves.
I wasn't being thrown to the wolves. I was being fed to the wolves, my family. You've heard from Meghan herself.
Recruiting people to disseminate disinformation. They were happy to lie to protect my brother. We were never willing to.
They were happy to lie to protect my brother. An hungry press pack. A hungry press pack. A hungry press pack. They know your secrets. They know the secrets of the royal family. However, what do? They make deals with the royal family. And the royal family made a deal with the press to do everything they want to Harry and Meghan. Anything they want. In exchange, forget about those rumors or allegations of Prince William's affair with Rose Hanbury. Forget about all of that. And focus on going after Harry and Meghan. Especially towards Meghan, because Meghan was the target. She was the main target of the UK press. For the UK press, my family. And it's so sad what she's had to endure all of these years at the hands of the UK tabloid press and the farm and the royal family. What they've done to Meghan has been horrific. My family, allow me to read you what Omid Scobie said in his article, please, because that was what I wanted to focus on. Now, Omid Scobie said this, and I quote, "There was a moment that took place before Harry and Meghan's docuseries went live that while I sat watching the first 3 episodes, I could not get out of my mind. It is not that there wasn't enough interesting material to digest. The show had emotional stories, sweet anecdotes, and interesting historical context that made it a fascinating watch. But you don't need a journalist, especially one who is far too in the weeds, to tell you what they thought of it. Best to see for yourself if you haven't already. No, what had consumed my thoughts was a response to the first trailer for the 6-part series, where Prince Harry is hard talking about the culture of briefing and leaks within the palace. He said, and I quote, "There's a hierarchy of the family," he says. There's leaking, but there's also planting of stories. It's a dirty game. And though it was just a few words and only a preview of what's to come, It was the first time since Princess Diana's panorama interview that a member of the royal family had so openly lifted the lead on one of the most toxic practices going on behind palace walls. A toxic practice going on behind palace walls. Though racism and lack of support are both important to the couple's story, the damaging stories leaked by individuals within the House of Windsor were also one of the main reasons Harry and Meghan felt a need to find a different path. A place to thrive, not to survive, to borrow Meghan's words. So when I saw a UK tabloid article quoting a royal source, that is usually code for someone at the palace who does not want to go on the record, insisting that it was absolutely wrong to suggest Harry and Meghan have been briefed against. The palace are so full of it, so full of liars. Now, Omid Scobie said that he had to reread this sentence a second time just to be sure I was not hallucinating. It was gaslighting to the extreme. Now, Omid Scobie says this, that remember the 2018 tabloid stories mourning about Meghan's 5 a.m. emails, the drama around her tiara. These reports and many others included anonymous quotes from palace sources and ADs. Yet some of the more royal-friendly members of the press have been quick to express outrage at Harry suggesting such a thing took place. But then, as is often the case, mirroring palace outrage is nothing new around these parts. The reality is, people working at the palace did brief against Harry and Meghan while they were working roles regularly, and it was hardly a secret either. While writing the book Fighting Freedom, a number of the staff I spoke to complained about the culture of leaking and negative briefings within the institution. Some felt it was out of jealousy of the couple's unrivaled popularity at the time. William was so jealous, very jealous, and he was being told by courtiers, don't worry, William, calm down. Harry and Meghan's popularity will go down while yours will rise. William was told to be calm down, because he was always incandescent with rage and jealousy because of Harry and Meghan's popularity. And what did the palace do? They smeared Harry and Meghan and ensured they can't defend themselves. As Meghan was asked by Oprah, were you silent or were you silenced? And Meghan said, I was silenced. The latter, Meghan said. My family, that is what happened at the palace. Others, on the other hand, shrugged and said, that's just how it goes. And a couple believe that much of it came from a place of disliking Meghan Markle. Yesterday, William, through his friends, leaked how much he hates Meghan Markle. William did that. My family. You wonder what Meghan did to William so badly that he has become so angry and full of hate towards Meghan. I believe that they just can't control and have never been able to hide their racism towards Meghan. Never. Now, palace ADs also brief against other royals. With 3 different households, back then, Clarence House, Buckingham Palace, and Kensington Palace, all with their own teams, it wasn't and still isn't uncommon for an AD to look out for their boss by using information about another member of the family from a different household and usually less senior, as currency to carry favor with the outlets you never want to be on the wrong side of. Omid Scobie has just told you what happens. He has told you what happens. You know, part of the contract in the palace is that senior members of the royal family must be protected. If you are lower in the pecking order, then you are fair game. Kind of like how Prince Harry is fair game. And that's why they keep going after, Harry and Meghan, because there is no deal to protect Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan have been handed over by the farm to the UK press to go after, to be bullied and abused. Especially Meghan, with the hopes that it will destroy their marriage, Harry and Meghan's marriage. Now, Omid Scobie continues by saying this, and I quote, "Briefing off the record or as a quotable source is by no means a bad thing and is often used by journalists, including myself, publicists, and representatives for the likes of celebrities, sports stars, politicians, companies, and governments. All rely on being able to quietly speak to journalists about stories or issues they may not want to go officially on the record for. In the palace's case, it can be a useful way of sharing useful or sensitive information to journalists ahead of an engagement or important moment, or simply to deny or address a story they may not want to give oxygen to." Over the years, I have written many times about the darker uses of this tool and how it affected Harry and Meghan. But it wasn't until last year that my reporting, so the palace hit back. Now, this is a story of, for those who say that, oh, the palace can't defend itself. Oh, William cannot defend himself. How can Harry, say this when he knows that William cannot defend himself? That is nothing but a lie. And this story that Omid Scobie is saying right now, that I'll share with you, will tell you that the palace can indeed defend itself. The palace is the one that has the power to even call off the press when they want to. They can get, footage to be removed if they want to. Because before you release a documentary, the palace needs to watch it. If they don't watch it, they are uncomfortable with it. And they will issue a statement reacting to it, like what happened to the Princess and the Prince documentary, My Family. And My Family, I want to read you this story. Now, on a 2021 primetime royal documentary, I suggested that it was no coincidence that stories of Prince William's fears for Harry's fragile state of mind had appeared in newspapers less than a day after the Duke of Sussex revealed the growing distance between the brothers during a TV special. The fact that a senior member of the then Duke of Cambridge staff had used supposed concerns about Harry's mental health as an opportunity for positive press about Brother William was very much noticed by Harry and Meghan, Omid Scobie said. And the palace, which every single person knows, leaks against Harry and Meghan, Kensington Palace quickly intervened. Producers behind the show were put under pressure to remove Omid Scobie's words. ADs for Prince William warned that it was potentially defamatory. The tug of war went as far as executive level at the network until an 11th hour agreement to mute the audio of my voice for several seconds in the airing of the documentary was made. And certain journalists were then briefed by Kensington Palace, who did not reach out to me beforehand, that I had no evidence to support my claim. I provided a vivid example that Kensington Palace, headed by Prince William, is certainly more prepared to wade into influence media coverage when it chooses to. That part. A vivid example that Kensington Palace is certainly more prepared to wade into influence media coverage when it chooses to, when it wants to, says director of the William and Harry What Went Wrong documentary. And someone called Richard Sanders. On the day of transmission, the palace demanded that we remove the quote. He said, people more important than myself acquiesced. Although it seemed to me perfectly legal and legally defensible, but they bowed to the will of the palace. They bowed to the will of Kensington Palace. Defensible indeed. In fact, what was not pointed out by outlets at the time was the original articles containing said briefings, which were published immediately after Harry and Meghan An African Journey was broadcast in October 2019. They are still easy to find online and clear as day, quote a source at Kensington Palace. And the article read, the front page article from The Sun read, Wills, my fears for fragile Harry. Daily Mail also was briefed. William's fears for troubled Harry because a father, a husband, expressed his concerns for his wife, expressed concerns for his son, that he did not want his wife and son to end up like his late mother. And William used that to brief against Prince Harry using mental health as a weapon. My family, William should be nowhere near any mental health charity. Nowhere near. And a source from Kensington Palace was quoted by BBC News on the same day, revealing the Duke of Cambridge was worried about his brother, Harry and Meghan. They add, were in a fragile place. And similar language appeared in a number of other outlets, including Daily Mail front page, saying that William fears for troubled Harry. For full transparency, this article were not my confirmation on the origins of the original briefing. I was briefed by a senior AD at another royal household. The individual who at the time felt strongly about a line being crossed by someone working for William had sent me text messages about the briefings relating to William's concerns for Harry's mental health. The night the newspaper stories went to print with the information. This is just one example of the games that have long gone on, the toxic games that have long gone on behind the scenes at the palace. And while so many there, including some of the family, get dragged into, no matter how much they resist. For Harry, it is what he says he wanted to get his family away from. The late Princess Diana was not so lucky. In the past, I've called the relationship between a journalist and the palaces a delicate dance, a game that needs to be an almost equal give and take to maintain access. But as the examples above illustrates, when the stakes are high, that dance can turn into something altogether more dangerous. Facts can be distorted, reputations damaged, mistruths can easily be put into the world in seconds. And the next 3 episodes of Harry and Meghan will tackle this subject and the royal family's relationship with the UK media. My family, Omid Scobie said, a new trailer released on Monday, features Harry claiming they were happy to lie to protect my brother. They were never willing to tell the truth to protect us. As I write this, Kensington Palace have no comment to make on the series and also declined to comment on the story I share above. But I can imagine when the second batch of episodes is released, it may be different. These first 3 episodes saw very little reason for people to come out of the farm. In fact, the only drama to emerge was over whether or not the palace had been given the right to reply to claims made in the series on Netflix. After a full screen card at the start of Harry and Meghan read, members of the royal family declined to comment on the content within the series. Both Kensington Palace and Buckingham Palace quickly denied being given a heads up. Sources at both anonymously claimed they were not approached for comment. Instead, they say an email purporting to be from a third production company was received, but no one replied when they attempted to verify its origins. A source from Netflix, however, insists the communication officers of both King Charles and Prince William were contacted in advance. Clearly, the palace is well known for being liars. Omid said that this is by no means the last we'll hear of this story, but that's as far as it goes for now. As is often the case, this back and forth quickly get messy. And it's a shame because so much of it could be avoided by simply not being so compelled to respond to and brief on every little thing. For a family that pretty much owns the term never complain, never explain, it's almost laughable that the majority of them and the people they keep close to their sides have yet to actually master never complain, never explain. Omid Scobie ends his article. What a beautiful article, my family. And I'll attach it for you for the rest, for all of you to be able to read. Please tell me what you think about all of this. It's clear what William did to his own brother, to his own flesh and blood. He should be nowhere near a mental health charity. Kim Moulton called herself, a patron of a maternal mental health charity. This woman stood there and watched as Meghan was bullied throughout her pregnancy and said nothing. But she's a patron of a maternal mental health charity. My family, hypocrisy of the highest order. And that hypocrisy must be exposed. My family, please tell me what you think kindly. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support Evergreen Family on YouTube. My family, may God bless, protect Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and stay tuned to our next video. Tell me what you think about this, about Omid Scobie's article and what he said. It's clear where the leaks come from. They come from Kensington Palace, and it's time they pay for the pain they've caused to both Harry and Meghan and their kids Archie and Libedana. Please stay tuned to our next video. Love you always and forever. The time for accountability is here. William, the time has come for accountability. Stay tuned to our next video. Hello, members of Scobie Family TV. First of all, I want to say thank you for all your support that you give us to our channel. We don't take it for granted that you support this channel. I want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for lending out your support and fighting against injustices, supporting Prince Harry and Meghan, showing them love. Love will always triumph over evil, and for that I say thank you. Good will always prevail over bad. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much for joining this community, this amazing community of Scobie Family TV. I love you so much, family, from the bottom of my heart, and I wish you all the best. May you have a great day. And I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned a lot of things. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. Leave a comment below, like, and subscribe. Love you, family, always and forever. Sayonara.